I'm Jonathan Zhang, a supply chain consultant of a logistics bureau. As most of the Western nations are still on their way to recover from the global financial crisis, we have seen quicker recovery in the Asia-Pacific region. While China has undergone painful economic structural reforms in the past decade, other small economies are still in the early stage of reducing their reliance on exports. To the West, there are plenty of hidden risks associated with the sourcing from traditionally low-cost nations such as China, India, and Vietnam. Here, I would like to share some key issues associated with global procurement. Firstly, procurement risk mitigation is a top agenda item in a recovering global economy. Some of the low-cost countries may not still be low-cost as we expected in the coming years. A good example is China. In recent years, as its domestic consumption and GDP continuously grow, all economic sectors have experienced a significant surge in material, labor, and management costs. Manufacturing in the coastal region is not cheap anymore. The overheated infrastructure sector and automotive sector, on one hand, have boosted the growth of general industry capacity to serve the domestic market. On the other hand, the consequently changing economic structure has created shifts in supply resources and capacities that impact the stability of China sourcing. In some sectors, the industry consolidation happens constantly, which will change the larger Chinese players' bargaining position. To understand China's true supply capacity on key commodities will be a constant challenge to all buyers in the West, let alone the increasing volatility of a commodity cost, which in turn drives the purchase price fluctuations. For this very reason, some Western companies have put a serious thought into nearshore and even domestic sourcing strategy to mitigate procurement risks and increase supply stability, probably at the cost of a price increase in the short term. Secondly, creating supply alternative is not going to be easy. Are countries such as those in Southeast Asia reliable alternative to the West? Or answer varies depending on the sourcing categories you are looking at. Let's use the fashion and the garment industry as an example. Vietnam has been on the horizon for many years as a strong contender to countries such as China, India, and Pakistan. But its slow infrastructure development, short supply of management talent, and unbalanced economic structure has hindered the country's development into a truly reliable supply base to the West and made Western buyers reassess the long-term viability of Vietnam's supply capacity. If you have already felt uneasiness to deal with your existing supply base, finding an alternative one could be just as challenging. Thirdly, sustainability is going to be a new burning topic for most procurement professionals. Sustainability has become a widely broadcasted agenda item for most global corporations as governments are still working hard to form consensus across the globe. But one thing is for sure, it is time to revisit those no-brainer sourcing strategies that focus purely on dollar saving. The environmental impact of your global procurement activity will be closely monitored by independent institutions. It is not only the cost, but also the ethical and environmental implications that will jointly justify a global procurement strategy. How many years do we have before heavy fines fall on us for polluting other parts of the world? Smart companies should take actions now. Lastly, global operations, global procurement, and global supply chain will continue to create a competitive edge for large corporations if managed properly. The role of a global procurement has been constantly expanding through the years. Chief procurement officers increasingly play a role equally important as COOs and CFOs. Procurement is not just a function within the supply chain. We can hardly find any business process that procurement doesn't have a presence in. But managing a complex procurement function across different time zones, different cultures, different markets, and different systems is a rather difficult task. Successful management of your global procurement means a significant advantage to those companies competing on a global scale. In Logistics Bureau, we deal with the critical issues that impact your global procurement efficiency, from a new organizational structure development to performance measurement system introduction, from procurement strategy design to sourcing tactics training, from process improvement to system implementation. Feel free to email or call our procurement experts to discuss your issues on global procurement. Thank you.